Well, the regular season is now over. So, as we put that time behind us, we now look ahead to Wild Card Weekend.
So many different moments the Steelers season could be over, but it's not, Key.
It's Pittsburgh football, though. Now they're in the situation.
Don't say it.
They might go to the AFC Championship game.
And then there were 14. The first ever 18-week NFL regular season is in the books. But now it's time to turn the page as we embark on the second ever 14-team postseason tournament. How will everything play out? We'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, here's how all 14 playoff teams stack up in our Super Wildcard edition of the Power Rankings. Number 14, Pittsburgh Steelers. Regular season ranking, 17. Two heart-pounding finishes in Week 18 and perhaps the biggest upset of the 2021 NFL season led to the Steelers squeaking out the final playoff spot in the AFC. It started when the Colts were humiliated by the NFL's worst team in a must-win game. Then, moments later, Chris Boswell provided the overtime heroics in Baltimore to give the Steelers the win. Now all Pittsburgh needed was for the Raiders and Chargers to avoid a tie, and they were in. That tie was very likely, though, until Daniel Carlson drilled the game winner with no time left in overtime to send Pittsburgh to the postseason, while sending the Chargers packing. And so, by the absolute slimmest of margins, Ben Roethlisberger's career lives to fight another week. Up next, a trip to Arrowhead to take on Patrick Mahomes and the surging Kansas City Chiefs. Pittsburgh was blown out 36-10 in this very stadium back in Week 16. The defense got absolutely nothing going against Mahomes and company that night. But hey, crazier things have happened. Big Ben proved on Sunday that he can still make plays when it matters most. Najee Harris and Deontay Johnson will give KC some troubles. And hey, we know TJ Watt can take over a game at any moment. Chances are, Big Ben's limitations and the wear and tear on his body will lead to an early postseason exit. But hey, at least the Steelers gave themselves a chance to compete for the Lombardi Trophy, and Roethlisberger wouldn't want it any other way. Number 13, Las Vegas Raiders. Regular season ranking, 14. We don't make the final decision, but Rich Bisaccia certainly earned the opportunity to take over the full-time head coaching position. For the first time in 5 years, the Raiders are postseason bound. Given all the hardships and tragedies that have plagued this team off the field, it was amazing to see them rally together and claim a wildcard spot. Vegas's Week 18 overtime win against the Chargers will certainly go down as one of the NFL's all-time greatest games. The defense nearly blew it, but Derek Carr in the offense made just enough plays to help the team sneak in. So, it's on to the playoffs, and these Raiders are more than capable of going on a run. There's little time to celebrate, though. The Raiders are on to Cincinnati. Back in Week 11, the Bengals dominated the Raiders at the Death Star, cruising to a 32-13 win. But the Raiders enter with victories in each of their final 4 games. Never count out a mentally tough, battle-tested team like the Raiders. Now, if they could just win a playoff game for the first time in 19 years. Number 12. Philadelphia Eagles. Regular season ranking, 12. The Eagles were expected to endure a rebuilding season in 2021, but wouldn't you know it, they booked their playoff ticket in Week 17 and were able to rest their starters last week in a meaningless game against Dallas. Next up, it's the defending Super Bowl champs in the wildcard round. It's easy to predict a lopsided victory for Tampa here, but be careful. When these two teams met in Week 6, Tampa narrowly escaped with a 6-point victory. That's when the Bucs still had Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown. Both wideouts are gone this time around. If star corner Darius Slay can limit Mike Evans' production, and if this usually stout front seven can get to Tom Brady, there could be a different outcome this time around. Not to mention that Tampa's rush defense has looked awfully vulnerable in the second half of the season. And the Eagles just so happen to have the NFL's top rushing attack. Don't rule out Philly. That's what happened 4 years ago, and all they did was go on to win the Super Bowl. Number 11, New England Patriots. Regular season ranking, 10. The Patriots aren't exactly entering the postseason with momentum. They dropped 3 of their final 4 games, with the lone victory coming against the NFL's worst team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mac Jones seems to have hit the rookie wall, and the Pats' rush defense has been gashed time and time again during their mini slump. Then again, It is the Patriots. They didn't look strong heading into the postseason 3 years ago, and, well, we know how that turned out. And, oh yeah, they just so happened to get a matchup against the Buffalo Bills on Wild Card Weekend. In case you forgot, New England won in Buffalo back in Week 13, even though Jones only completed 2 passes. The Pats usually save their best football for December and January. Can Bill Belichick bring out the good old postseason magic yet again? Number 10. San Francisco 49ers. Regular season ranking, 11. Thanks to a ferocious comeback and some good old Matthew Stafford blunders, the 49ers are headed back to the postseason. Jimmy Garoppolo and Deebo Samuel ripped apart the Rams defense. The San Fran front seven looked every bit like the 2019 group that powered this team to a Super Bowl appearance 2 years ago. These 49ers are a wildcard team that nobody wants to play. But someone has to. And that would be the Dallas Cowboys in a throwback to their storied rivalry from the 90s. This will be the first playoff matchup between Dallas and San Fran since 1994. Yeah, this is going to be must-watch television. Number 9. Arizona Cardinals. Regular season ranking, 8. The Redbirds' defense put up a giant stinker at home against the Seattle Seahawks in Week 18, and, well, it only cost them the NFC West title in a home playoff game. And so, Arizona will instead have to travel to Los Angeles to visit the Rams on Monday Night Football. Yes, Arizona won at SoFi Stadium in Week 4, but that's when they still had DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt. After starting out the season looking like the best team in the NFL, the Cards have taken several steps back. This is a team that went 7-0 at one point. They beat the Tennessee Titans and swept the 49ers, and yet they also have late season losses to the Lions and Seahawks. At this point, it's really hard to trust the Cards. The only good news for them is their wildcard opponent doesn't seem to be firing on all cylinders at the moment either. Can Kyler Murray and company get their act together over the next few weeks and make a run? Whatever happens, let's call this a year of progress for the Cardinals. It's their first playoff season since 2015 after all. Number 8. Los Angeles Rams. Regular season ranking, 2. Suddenly, we're very worried about the Rams. A 17-point lead over the 49ers evaporated in Week 18.
Hey, old man, give me everything.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me.
Stafford closed out the season with an interception in 4 straight games, and 8 total over that span. Even the NFL's #1 ranked defense from a year ago has struggled. They were bullied by the 49ers in every aspect on Sunday, 1 week after barely getting past a Ravens team that was without Lamar Jackson. There is no sugarcoating it. A loss to Arizona on Monday would make 2021 a complete failure in La La Land. Number 7. Cincinnati Bengals. Regular season ranking, 5. The Bengals were happy to sit their starters and essentially take the number 4 seed. They fortunately avoided a matchup with the New England Patriots and instead got a much more manageable opponent in the Raiders. 2021 was a massive success regardless of what happens in the postseason. Nobody picked Cincy to win a brutally tough AFC North, and few thought they'd compete for a playoff berth. A Super Bowl appearance would be fun, no doubt. But for now, the focus is on beating the Raiders and clinching the franchise their first postseason win since 1990. If it happens, don't be surprised if Joe Burrow gets his own statue out in front of Paul Brown Stadium. Number 6. Dallas Cowboys. Regular season ranking, 9. The Cowboys' win over the Eagles and the Rams' collapse versus San Fran led to America's team claiming the number 3 seed. Now it's time to focus on the 49ers. Winning the NFC East and returning to the postseason after a 3-year absence is cause for a mini celebration, no doubt. But it's practically a championship or bust mentality every year in Big D. And this right here is the best team Dallas has fielded since their 2007 squad. This season won't be reflected upon fondly if the Cowboys go one and done. This team can hang with anybody in the NFC. They're definitely not doubting their ability to make a Super Bowl run. But the 49ers will not be an easy win on Sunday. Dallas is gonna have to earn this one. Number 5. Buffalo Bills. Regular season ranking, 7. The Bills clinched a second straight division title, and it's only fitting that their quest for a Super Bowl begins against their arch rivals who embarrassed them for nearly 2 full decades. Having made the AFC title game a year ago, the Bills simply aren't here to celebrate division crowns. They know anything less than a Super Bowl appearance will be viewed as a huge disappointment. The Bills are arguably the most complete team in the AFC. Josh Allen is back to his MVP form. The rushing offense seems to have woken up down the stretch, and their defense finished first in both yards and scoring. The pieces are all in place for the Bills, but can they actually get the job done this time? Number 4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Regular season ranking 4. A blowout win over the hapless Carolina Panthers and a 49ers overtime win over LA propelled Tampa to the NFC's second seed. Things just always find a way to work out for Tom Brady and company. We don't know how many healthy bodies Tampa will have against Philly on Sunday, but as we outlined earlier, the Eagles' underrated defense and top-ranked rushing game could pose some troubles. The Bucs struggled against the New York Jets, and they were having a tough time in the first half against Carolina. They cannot afford slow starts like that come playoff time. Will Mike Evans and Rob Gronkowski be enough firepower for Brady in the offense? Will their defense be able to pressure the quarterback and force turnovers like they did during last year's Super Bowl run? This Tampa team has appeared vulnerable in the second half of the season, but you can never count out the GOAT. Number 3, Kansas City Chiefs. Regular season ranking 6. After finishing as the number 2 seed in the AFC, the Chiefs will have to play on a wildcard weekend for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era. Kansas City has an overly favorable matchup here against a flawed Pittsburgh team that needed a ton of luck to sneak into the postseason. Get past the Steelers, and KC will be just one more home win away from a 4th straight AFC Championship game appearance. But like the Bills, KC is in Super Bowl or bust territory. Such is life when you've made it to the big dance 2 years in a row. This team right here is looking to establish themselves as a dynasty. Winning another Super Bowl would do just that. Number 2, Tennessee Titans. Regular season ranking 3. The Titans just need 2 home victories to reach their first Super Bowl in 22 years. Think about that. And they didn't have Derrick Henry for most of the regular season. Not to mention Taylor Lewan, Julio Jones, and A.J. Brown all missed valuable time as well. The Titans get the much-needed bye as Henry enjoys even more time to rest up ahead of his return. With a physical, imposing defense and a balanced offensive attack, Tennessee really has all the tools to go all the way. And let's not forget that they already beat the Chiefs and Bills this season. Tennessee isn't scared of anybody in the AFC, especially now that they're healthy. Number 1, Green Bay Packers. Regular season ranking 1. Don't overreact to their meaningless loss to the Detroit Lions. With the bye in place, the Packers now sit back and watch the other 6 NFC playoff teams beat up on each other. All while Jair Alexander, David Bakhtiari, and Za'Darius Smith are given an extra week to get healthier. The NFL's best regular season team is getting reinforcements at the perfect time. Everybody knows what this Green Bay team is capable of. But can they finally get over the hump? Or will they be stunned again in January? But which teams do you think will win on Wild Card Weekend? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.